Hey everyone, it has been a while since I posted a video. My wife and I got a new house and we are a couple months in, and I finally have our cantina, aka our Star Wars collection room slash bar slash game room hangout area. It is finished. So we are finally done. I mean, apart from the things that are always works in progress, but this is going to be a full room tour. I'm going to be pretty detailed, but I'm going to try my best to be fairly concise with it because I want to keep this video to less than an hour. So with that, expect a little bit of time here, but I'm going to basically go downstairs, do a little bit of a pan through the whole place, and then talk a little bit about the areas individually. So let's see the cantina. So what you'll notice is, it's our last name up there. It's my wife and I's cantina. And I have things kind of sectioned off like I did in our old collection room. So a lot of the like parts are together. Funko Pops are by each other. The 3 3/4 figures are by each other. The Black Series has a section. So yeah, this is the place. So I'll just kind of roll through, seeing what we got here, and then we'll talk about some of the specifics. But yeah, this was always a dream of ours to have a little basement with a game room area. We do have a menu at the bar for what we're serving. Fun fact, I actually want to have little menus printed on one of those little mini clipboards that have descriptions of the drinks, but for when we host. But yeah, they're all Star Wars themed drinks, of course. Credits due fine for payment. Yeah, so this is the Van Cleve's Cantina. It's a thing of beauty. I measured the shelves where the Funko Pops are, and then I used the level for hanging some of the shelves. But outside of that, I pretty much freelanced this entire thing. Literally the first thing I did moving in, well, when I started doing this, is I decided to put the Black Series shelves there. So it was just because they fit. And the rest just kind of pieced in over time. As always, I'm trying to have some room to grow, because the inevitable terrible truth of all collectors, no matter who you are, what you collect, you run out of room. So always trying to find ways to wedge more stuff in, and do have some ideas for things that'll change over time. So some of the areas may have some, like, that's a bathroom back there. We had a full bath down here too. Some of the areas may just have things up that are placeholders. Some things like down there in the middle, there's a room for another one of those retro prototype figures when it comes through. So always works in progress, but finding ways to change stuff up. I like doing it. And anybody that has any questions on anything I've used display-wise, whether it's the shelving, how I get the figures to stand, I put them on this little sticky tack stuff, I am more than happy to help. What I hung the sabers with, that's a common question. But yeah, anybody has any questions on it, I'm more than happy to help. I mean, I love being part of this community, and as many of us, I don't have a lot of, well, really anybody in my immediate life outside of myself and my wife that are like actually into this kind of stuff. So it's like, I'm always cool meeting people on the internet. I'm part of a couple Facebook forums, things like that, and I like joining in on some of the collector live streams. Some fans of the channels. So anybody has any questions online, I'm more than happy to help. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and start to do a little bit of the specifics here, and let's go ahead and just start with the front of the room. So first thing you'll see when you come down the stairs, it's basically my Black Series section, but I'm actually going to start with my Black Series sabers as well as what this wall is. So basically you come downstairs, doop, doop, doop. And I got the Maul saber here. I do have both sides of it, and it's too tall to actually fit down here fully, but luckily it fits right there, so it's good enough. And I like them vertical. I like all sabers being stored vertical. I just think they look so much cooler like that than the horizontal stands. And then I got my pin board. It's got my wife and I on it. Some super cool pins. So I'll just do a little bit of a scan through there, but it's when we were at Disney World and we met Chewbacca. So just some pins, patches, stuff like that on here. And kind of slowly add stuff over time. A lot of pins I buy if I have to meet like a minimum for free shipping from somewhere. So if you spend 10 extra bucks and shipping 6, you get the pin for $4 in theory. So that's how I'll kind of slowly fill this. That's actually really cool. Go Blue, Michigan Jump Trooper, Stormtrooper, so cool. Yeah, so we got that, and then under this is basically these little shelves are where the vintage Kenner figures are going to go. I do not have a ton of them at this point in time, but I do plan to finish the 96 over my lifetime, and I have plenty of room to keep adding more of those shelves down the wall. They stick out about an inch, so they're absolutely perfect for this. Easy to mount. And I do have some like random modern loose figures just being fillers right now, but got my Kenner collection here. Again, that's going to continue to grow. Ideally, I get everything complete and in good condition, but for some of the pricier ones, I'll probably just be fine with whatever I can get. I'm not overly critical on wear and tear. And I got the rest of my sabers here. So basically these holders, I got them on Amazon. They're like lawn tool or like broom and mop holders. They just hang tools on your wall with, and it fits the shaft perfectly of the saber, and they are awesome. Holds the weight. Yeah, I got Luke, Rey, Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku, Palpatine, Vader, and Kylo Ren. And then again, I have them all. Saber over there. I do have them all plugged in, or the batteries in them, which I should eventually take out. I know I can't indefinitely leave the batteries in there, but for now I have them all in. It's a hassle. You have to get an Allen wrench. I think they're all different ones, so I'll do it eventually, but yeah. And then this is what I'm planning on doing with these snazzy holiday figures. So I'm basically going to keep adding. I have all the new ones basically pre-ordered. I already have 3 of them, but anyway, I'm basically going to put the Halloween figures in the middle, kind of back to back, and they're being surrounded by the holiday figures. So it's like a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of deal, but I think it's going to be a cool display. So basically, I'm going to leave the ones ideally that aren't troopers boxed, because I just want the troopers, the holiday ones, being the ones like surrounding the attack. I may get the white Vader, whatever it's called, the Reborn Vader or whatever, like leading the pack. I think that would fit here pretty well too. But anyway, yeah, so the Halloween guys are going to be in the middle, and then they're surrounded by the holiday people, and then I'll just have some boxed that are in the back, but they look super cool. Most recently, I just got the Mandalorian, which was my birthday yesterday. Fun fact, I turned 38. So my wife and I went to Target, we got that, and then we got the Shore Trooper from Andor, the Target exclusive. So those are my last 2 figures I got, and then just a couple dolls on the sides, the Padme and a Rey. Big fans of both the characters. And then below this, I got those gold, like, Celebrate the Skywalker Saga 2 packs, the gold ones. I think they look classy. They're probably not going to stay here. I'll find a new spot for them, but it's eventually going to be Black Series. This whole area is Black Series. And then I got a couple random stuffed animals, a Jar Jar, of Boba Fett, C-3PO, and there's R2 back there. And then under that, just a couple of my droids. Got the big BB-8, the Dio, and BB-9E down there. And then if I get another little droid, I'll put one there. But yeah, I think that's going to look so sweet when it's done. I like little gimmicky stuff like that. I think it's fun. And then my Black Series helmets, I got the Vader, the Stormtrooper, and the Incinerator Trooper. Probably done with helmets forever just because I have nowhere to put them. But 3 amazing choices. And then moving into some of the figures of the Black Series area. Just some special ones I keep in the box on the card. I got the Kenner Kenobi, the Grievous, Power of the Force 2 Leia, the 40th anniversary Forlom Zuckuss misprint name pill. Got the Jar Jar. Coolest credit collection figure ever. That card back is so sweet. The heavy infantry Mandalorian. Look at that. Paz Vizsla in the house. And then I got the Triple Force Ride, the the black and white box Rey from the Red Box Edition Black Series. Love Rey so much and love those figures. So those are kind of just like some of my specialty ones over here. And a little bit of a drawback, what we got. And then we got the main Black Series area. So again, that shelf on the bottom right where you see some boxes, that's filler for now. Those will all be on risers like all of these. That is a thing of beauty. As always, if anybody has questions of what I've used to display stuff, more than helpful. I think the aesthetic is important. You gotta have colors that match, and don't be afraid to spend money on the things you display stuff on, guys. We spend so much money on the things we collect, but to really show them off and display them well, you gotta invest a little bit in your display stuff too. And I think I did a good job finding stuff that looks good, but also within my budget, which is important. So you can spend a lot of money on display stuff. So if anybody has questions on how to kind of meet in the middle, I'm your man. I got some good ideas for things that you could slowly budget for over time, and also things that won't break the bank. But just a couple figures up here boxed. I got a Moloch. I got the Heroes of Endor set, which is so cool. And then I got the Palpatine in the throne room, or the throne Palpatine up there. A couple vehicles. I have Rey's speeder, swoop bike from Solo, and then the Mandalorian series speeder bike. And then I'm just gonna kind of go through these. This is my Black Series main area. The new Boba Fett was so cool. The new Ahsoka is so cool. The Empire Strikes Back Vader is still one of my top 5 ever. I mean, look at that. That is sweet. Maybe, I mean, he's always a front runner for 1 or 2 of my favorite Black Series figures ever, along with the Dagobah Luke with Yoda. And also Return of Jedi Boba Fett's good. If I ever made a list of most underrated figures, I would probably put Zeb. I just think he's so cool. And just going through these shelf by shelf. I would love to talk and highlight each one, but this video is going to be way too long. And yeah, I'm always happy to answer questions. And if anybody wants like a more in-depth Black Series video, I'm more than happy to put that up. Everybody loves the Gamorrean Guard. The new comic book Leia is incredible. Jackson's cool. My wife and I have a bunny as our pet, Jupiter, so we're big bunny people. These Clone Wars ones are so good. And that includes the Ahsoka, the Kenobi, Aura Singh is amazing, Jar Jar is amazing. Squatting down, still trying to hold this camera pretty steady for you guys. Yeah, Black Series collection, too good. I love it. And just the way these strip lights worked. I bought the ones that are the individual strips, so you can hide the cords better versus like the real long, just solid light ones. So I have the same brand I use for everything. Fennec is good. Sabine is cool. Moff Gideon's cool. Just highlighting some of these random figures, and then this is the one I'm currently working on. This is the bottom row here. I just got a lot of these figures more recently. Well, not a lot of them, but the George Boba Fett's new. Again, I was telling you, I got the Shore Trooper on the right. My wife bought me that for my birthday, which I'm super happy about. New Cad Bane is sweet. The Rock'em Sock'em Dark Trooper is cool. And then, what's his name? Saw Gerrera is so sweet. Deluxe prices for these things, nah, debatable, but again, it is what it is, but they look great. I mean, I think with everybody, with the prices of these figures going up, first, wait on sales if you want to be smart about it. And then second, I think we'd all agree the quality of the figures has been excellent. So it stinks to pay more money, but at least we're getting stuff that is good. And then I got one more little shelf for my Black Series, and then we'll keep moving along. So on the top, I got the Snoke on the throne, not to be confused with Snakes on a Plane. And then just a few of my favorites back there. I do have the figures in the box, so it's not just the box. So all these I have like duplicates of. minus the San Diego Comic-Con Sith Trooper to the right. But I have all three of these Ahsokas, Darkside Rey and Padme. And again, that's the San Diego Comic-Con Sith Trooper. That's actually the first new thing outside of like what you saw in the trailers that you've seen for Rise of Skywalker. So it's pretty sweet. And then first row got carbonized. So again, I kept the ones I really like in the box boxed. And then just open the rest of them. So that is that in full, and then my credit collection down here. So I probably won't get a lot more of these, but I did the same thing. So it's all similar to what I'm doing with the holiday ones, things like that. Just having some special ones I like boxed there, and then just opening the rest. If I find one of these on sale, I'll grab it. I'll probably put them there and open it. It'll be either the Ahsoka or the Bo-Katan in a perfect world. That's which one I'd get. So yeah, that is my Black Series collection. We're about 16 minutes in. I'm doing pretty well with this. So yeah, so that's Exhibit A. And then as always, I still got my Yogi Bo beanbag chair. It's actually the Rebel Alliance one. Got the chair and ottoman. It's so comfortable. Highly recommend it. Anybody's looking for a cool chills chair, Star Wars themed chair, Yogi Bo is an amazing company, and they also sent me for free, because I showed them a picture of my collection. They sent me the Yogi Bo beanbag buddy, whatever it's called, but the Ewok one that matches the chair. So that was so cool of them. And then I have a blanket from Heroes and Villains, amazing store. They have the coolest shirts. So that's where I'm chilling a lot of times if we're not sitting at the card table or if I'm not sitting at the bar. So transitioning this way, do have a window. It is the basement, but we actually have full windows in our basement. So they're basically escape windows. So in case there's ever an emergency, it's a full window. It opens up and there's a ladder that you climb outside. Both of our windows down here are like that. So it's kind of cool. And obviously I just keep these closed for any sunlight or anything that can come in. And then I have a spotlight on the wall that I mounted facing a lot of my TVC / 3 3/4 figures. But I love keeping the TVC in the box just because they're little pieces of art. Just the figure, the look. It's the most iconic hardback style of any action figure. But yeah, I can go over these for days. I hang them very precisely. I use little mini command hooks for all of these. It works so well, and it's pretty easy to get them straight. So again, I didn't measure any of this. This is all freehand. There's a little gap in the corner there. That's actually our motion detector for our security system. So there's a little bit of a gap there. Not huge on the aesthetic, but it at least gave me a place where I could put up the big boxed Mandalorian with the spiders. It works. It's fine. I mean, little stuff like that. I mean, if somebody comes down here and that's what's on their mind, they probably have bigger issues than I got. So, but yeah, it's all my boxed TVC figures, another window, and it kind of ends there. So as always, I got a little room back there to keep adding stuff. Have a couple little spaces behind there, behind the Razor Crest. I'm going to add some more. And we'll just keep finding ways to fill it all out. But just showing some of these a little more in detail. Vintage collection is so good. So good. Everything about it. The look, the card backs, the nostalgia, the quality of the figures. Hopefully I'm not going through this too fast, but again, we'll be here for hours and hours if I spend my sweet time. So I guess I'll just highlight some ones I really like. Umbra Trooper is really cool. From Battlefront 2, I love that game. The Jar Jar Binks is cool. The Ahsoka I love. I love that Stormtrooper too to the left. The one from the Carbon Freeze Chamber. And everybody loves the EU figures. The Shea Vizsla, the Republic Trooper. But yeah, I absolutely love this line. The Tartakovsky Clone Wars ones are sweet. Koska Reeves is sweet. That was random, but that was literally the first one of these I hung down here. It was the Koska. And then I just went from there. Our surge box is behind it, so I can just take them off. I know exactly which ones to remove, then we can open it, flip the fuse if we need to. But yeah, everything we need in a basement, like our water valve, like the hose hookup is behind there, stuff like that. But I know where everything is at, so if I ever need to get to something in emergency, it's not difficult to do, and I strategically build it like that. Rise of Skywalker Rey is good. And then it's tough to beat that one. The Return of the Jedi Luke. It's tough to say there's a better one of these. But, yeah, it's a great line. Ahsoka, Mandalorian Ahsoka is incredible. So that's my box TVC. And as always, if you guys want to know anything I've used, just let me know. And if you ever want a special like TVC video where I'm going over these more detailed, more than happy to. And then there, the backdrop for my loose collection. Well, a lot of it that I've displayed, which is kind of my little diorama things, aka play sets, vehicles, things like that. So this is amazing. There is so much packed into this. So I'm gonna start right here. So this is actually the Last Jedi Snoke Ship playset. It's actually a BB-8 that opens up. And this thing is so cool. So this is basically my sequels diorama. So, and with these, I'm not fully like trying to be super overly movie accurate. If it's from an era, I'm gonna wedge it in there. I mean, the more figures I could display, the better. So like this, for example, I have Paige. Yes, she did not make it here, but she's in it. I mean, if I'm not using something for a display, it's in storage, and there's no fun in that. So this is actually one of my favorite scenes in Last Jedi's when this happened. And just Kylo and Rey back to back. It's so cool. It's so beautifully shot. The colors, absolutely gorgeously looking scene. And then second shelf, got some pilots, both First Order pilots and Poe and Snap. Got Hux, DJ. Next one down, got some troopers. You got Rose, Finn, and Paige, BB-8, Phasma. And then finally, on the bottom row, I just got some of the other sequel version characters that are in it. Then I got the Resistance people, because they're from this era too. So yeah, absolutely love that. And then this is kind of one of those placeholder things. It's probably going to be the Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett throne room when it comes. But for now, I just got some stands, some risers, and some random figures on here. Some of my wife and I's favorite characters. So just variations of Luke. All eras of 3 3/4. We got Vader. We got Leia's. We got Rey's. We got Finn's. Got the little boy Anakin's. The Ahsoka's. Padme's. Yoda's. And R2-D2's. So they're all just holding it down. And then this one I kind of just made up. I'm so proud of this. I thought it was fun, but it's kind of Anakin's story in a way. But all these, again, are like original Star Wars pieces. I don't like putting a lot of customs or anything like that or 3D printed stuff. Like everything is literally a Star Wars branded toy. So this is just kind of some random stuff, like that little plastic sand thing was like a 3-pack to some skiff guards or something, or the dancers from Jabba's palace of the Power of the Force line. So anyway, I used all these things, but it's kind of Anakin's story in a way. Got him meeting Padme, and then they become the best of pals on the droid factory. Then they decide to tie the knot. And then some things start to happen. Ahsoka leaves. And then Order 66. And then you are the chosen one. And then we're in the Empire. Becomes Vader. We're in the Empire, but then his son comes along, sees himself in him, and finds a way to redeem him. And there's Anakin back with Yoda and Obi-Wan. So I thought that was pretty clever. But again, just a bunch of random spots, random stuff, and I had a spot open to use, so I used it. So this next one, we got Boba Fett's fire spray ship, so the Slave One, and then I have the Shadows of the Empire themed here in Bounty Hunters. So A lot of you are probably too young to know the Shadows of the Empire stuff, but amazing book. There's a video game that came out. The toy line was huge. It was like 1996 or so, but I absolutely loved it. It was a big part of my childhood. So anyway, they're hanging out there, Dash Rendar, and they're all trying to get Han and Carbonite because the Shadows of the Empire basically took place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So all the bounty hunters are involved. Prince Shizor, and Boba Fett's ship. And then the next one is the Navarro Cantina. Super, super amazing. This is probably the most random diorama I have, but it's, I decided just to do a random alien cantina place. So Dexter Jetster and Watto opened up a bar. Watto's up there taking orders with his data pad. Dexter's trying to serve everybody. Everybody wants their drinks. Just a bunch of random 3 3/4 figures from all the lines. They all work so well. Some of the droids, the Pride droid, Balatik and Constable Zuvio are back there creeping. It's the Ahmed Best bar patron figure. It came with a little bar table. Yeah, it just works perfectly. And then I did order the Modal Nodes build-up pack from HasCon. So I am going to put the band in here. So that's their new gig. They're playing in the Navarro Cantina. And then above this, I have Solo. This is the Vanderheist playset from Target. It was a Target exclusive. I got it heavily on sale. And I'm really happy to have the Solo represented. Diorama up here, but Kira's there. Got Val. Rio's hanging out. Tobias, Beckett. And then we got Maul hanging out in the background. So I thought that thing was cool. But yeah, just some dioramas. Everything's lit up. Really happy. And then we have where the spotlight literally shines to, the Razor Crest. Gotta highlight it. So, so good. The HasLab Razor Crest. This was a team effort for my birthday one year. My wife and her mom put in some money towards it. My ladies powerlifting team that I coach put in some money. So I probably spent maybe $75 to $100 of my own money to finish back in it. So that was a team birthday present a few years ago, and then it finally came, and it did not disappoint. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then for the figures here, we got Moff Gideon and a bunch of troopers, all Pauldron troopers. And then a little R2 unit back there that just fit the color schemes. So we got Moff there, and then we got some of the main characters to The Mandalorian. Such good figures, all of these. And then the other side, have a little Jawa thing going on. So we got Quill and IG-11, and a bunch of Jawas, some R5 units they're trying to sell, and just some random stuff they're trying to pawn off. So that's basically what's going on with my Razor Crest display. And then below that, got the Tanta V, pretty much exactly how I had it displayed in my old place. Just simple, to the point. It's exactly what you need, nothing you don't. Almost all Power of the Force figures. So those are all Power of the Force too. That's actually a Revenge of the Sith Vader. Couple Rogue One Stormtroopers, I think, and then a Power of the Force one. So again, I just mix it all up, throw it all in there. It looks good. Toys are great. They don't have to be the most accurate, most articulated things ever for me to enjoy it. If it's the character and it's fine with me. Collect. I mean, some of the Kenner ones, the old ones, are so cool, and they don't look like anything. So it's like, but yet they're some of the most coolest figures of all time. I mean, they really changed the game for toys and put action figures on the map, those and G.I. Joes. So here's my Jabba's playset. Got Ula and Leia. See, Jabba's double dipping here a little bit. And then do have the Boosh Leia too, but again, it fits. Could be Boosh. I think it's a person, not just the look, right? So we're gonna assume that, because it's my display, my rules. Got Han and Carbonite, Size Snoodles and the dancers are rocking out. Max Rebo Band's rocking out. Luke Jedi is in the back. But yeah, so good. I did a pretty decent job hiding the cords too. I did as best I could, but that's the next row. And all these same shelves, same lighting, hung them all the same. Just looks amazing. And then last but not least, the carbon freeze chamber. This thing is awesome, but you just have to doctor it up a little. So I took it off the main poles because they're too tall. I used the smaller poles to stand the back up, and then I just hung the bigger ones. I just stuck them on the shelf like that for like an accent. And then we got the I Love You, I Know scene going on. Boba, Power of the Force Lando, Buff Billy D, can't go wrong with that. And then got the LED strip lights under it. And then on the side, I kind of just used construction paper just to hide some of the other areas where the lights leaked out, and just makes it look thicker and more dense. So I'm really happy the way that came out, but pretty cool set if you just baby it up a little. You just gotta put some love into it, but the strip lights under it make all the difference. And we got a Bespin Luke and Vader up there. And then next shelf, this is sweet too. This is my Emperor's Throne Room. So we'll call this my Death Star one. And again, not overly worried with accuracy. Imperial officers are there, so I do have Krennic up there. Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin. Obviously the Emperor Throne Room with his lightning hands. Got an Inquisitor, we got Luke. So Luke is in there taking on the whole Empire himself. And those things in the back, those are literally from the Tantive. Some they're supposed to clip on the back. I don't know why they're there, but use them for a little accent here, and it just works perfectly. And then finally, last one of these, it's my Geonosis Battle Arena. So I love Attack of the Clones. It's one of my favorite movies, Star Wars movies ever. But with this scene kind of also signifies the beginning of the Clone Wars. So this is a Clone Wars / Attack the Clones theme. As you'll see, I have some people in here that weren't at the battle. So, but again, I want it to be like this, and the more figures I display, the better. Because if they're not displayed, they're sitting in a box, and that's pointless. I don't enjoy that. So we got all the Separatists and bad guys up here. Little Boba. Dad, Tanwi's here. Little Boba Fett up there. We got Grievous up there creeping, and Aurra Sing is on the pole, picking fools off with give her the noob tube. Foop. So they're up there, and then the droids are all coming in through here. I'm trying to keep my shadow out of it, but we got a bunch of battle droids. We do have Dirge. We got Jango Fett and Asajj Ventress. And then they're fighting all Jedi. So I actually don't have any clones in here. Well, Jedi and Padme. So just kind of show off a little bit of who's all in here a little better. But again, this set is so cool. I found a seller on Mercari who sold it for a good price. It was brand new in the box, and he was just pumped that I was a buyer that actually wanted to actually display it and use it. He was really happy. So I sent him a picture. He was thrilled. But yeah, we do have Ahsoka in here. I wanted Anakin with Padme and Ahsoka. And just filling it out with Jedi. I do need a Coyote Mundi, so I'll add him. But yeah, it's my Geonosis Battle Arena, and that is my 3 3/4. So it's mostly TVC, but a lot of my displays are random lines. And again, I love every figure, every line. I just think it all looks so good. So the box ones are on the wall. They're kind of the backdrop for my dioramas, but I'm so thrilled how this came out. Absolutely love it. And then let's go to the bar. So I have a small 2-seater bar. When buying a bar, I learned they could be as cheap or as expensive as you want them to be. So I found like the nicest one I could find for the price I was willing to pay. Because as always, buying a house, there's a lot of expenses, including what you pay to actually get in it. So really happy with the bar. It was not the right color. I chose espresso brown, and I like that for everything because it blends pretty well with black. So if you ever can't find something in the espresso brown, chances are there's black. So for example, those shelves are black, chairs are black, That bench is espresso brown. The table's espresso brown. You can't really tell the difference for the most part. It all fits together. Those are espresso brown. So what I did was I painted the bar espresso brown on the bottom parts. And I left the normal wood color as the top just because things you touch, I mean, the paint will chip over time, which there it won't because you don't really touch that part. So that'll last. And it's kind of just a nice little accent piece, but in the bars here, it's a 2-seater bar. It's perfect for my wife and I when we're hanging out. My Funko Pops are the background of the bar. And then I got the Stormtrooper bar stools. You got to. So I got those from Home Depot. So they're here. In Van Cleve's Cantina, we do actually have a bar menu. So we got Java Juice. That's basically either gin and juice or vodka and juice, either way. And they are Imperial credits, so they're 8 credits. You got Mustafar Margarita. It's actually a spicy margarita with jalapeno. It's 10 credits. We got Alderon Ale, which is basically an IPA. We got the spiced Rhodian rum, which is basically like a, rum and Coke or rum and ginger ale drink. We got aged Wookiee whiskey, which is basically whiskey on the rocks. Right now we got Jack. Food, fun, and sabacc, baby. Tuesdays are Twilight Night. Saturdays we got the Max Rebo Band. So get it here at Van Cleve's Cantina. I just like being creative, and I'm such a nerd. I'm such a goofball, but I love it. So that's the bar. Sits perfectly there. And then on top of the bar, we got some of my Gentle Giant busts here. And then just some bar stuff. So got some stir sticks, corkscrew, a couple shot glasses under there. It's actually a Salacious Crumb and a R2-D2, some Star Wars napkins. I need to figure out a solution for all these individual strip light remotes. That's one thing I got to figure out. Then we got a Porg up there. And then my coasters. I actually have these Battle of Hoth coasters that are so cool. It's a set of 4. And they literally make up one picture. So a couple other ones are on the card table, but if you put them together in a square, they fit the same picture. But those are sweet. They're glass. And then up here, it's actually our gas turned off in that box, but put a couple 11x17 posters, Kenobi one and Solo. I think to this point, Kenobi is my favorite Star Wars show that they have done in the modern era. I loved every second of it. Thought it was so good, so needed. And then we got some of these canvas paintings here. My Pez dispensers. And then we got what the bar is stocked with. So we got some gin, some spiced rum, some whiskey, tequila, and some vodka. And we got this little light up stand that the more lighting down here, the better. A couple little goblets. I got a Greedo and a Boba Fett. Some of the bigger Funko pieces, the movie moments, stuff like that. Yoda getting the ship out of the water on Empire. That's still my favorite scene in cinematic history. It means so much to me on a personal level, and I just loved it. So anyway, I love that so much. And that John Williams music kicks in. You're just like, it's just like humbled, floored. So they're there, and that's where the booze hangs out. And then actually under the bar, my wife and I are big board game people. We just love hanging out. We really are 2 big kids for approaching 40 years old, but we have fun with life. So under the bar, it's our board games. There is a mini fridge under there, so keep our beer, non-alcoholic drinks in there. It's actually a cooler too, so you can take it with you. There's a couple different ways to hook it up and plug it in. So mini fridge is there. You can go behind and bartend. Can I help you to an Alderon Ale? Van Cleve's Cantina. We haven't had any Twi'leks show up yet on Tuesdays, but I'm hopeful. I think it's our marketing. We'll see. If you know any of them, tell them. Show up. So again, we got a bathroom down there. We got a full bath. Love the color scheme. We're so thrilled with our house. And then some lunch boxes. Those are my those drones. I got them on May the 4th one year for sale. And then a Dio, and then all my Funko Pops. So I got some of those baseball bat display cases stacked up here. So I still got to fill that bottom one over time. And then just got these on risers here. Another display set. I think you can see if I get behind the bar. A little tight, but we'll just do a little scan through here. So I was telling the 1313 guys, I actually have a reason I love Funko Pops. So a few reasons. First off, they tend to be cheap. And you can find them used on Amazon for like $5 or $6 many times if you just search and are patient. And even stock price, they're not expensive. So I love the fact that they're cheap. And I love the fact that they're so diverse. They go into such deep cut characters. So you get so many things that other lines for the figures you're just not going to get because they have to put too much into them to retool them and create them, stuff like that. And again, just a little show under there. But those are kind of my two biggest reasons I like these so much. I mean, I think they look cool, but they're cheap and you get some really deep cut stuff, which I love. I mean, the coolest thing about Star Wars is just so, the galaxy is just so diverse and there's just so many cool things, so many different species, different outfits. It's just cool to see it. I think I can get this whole one. So yeah, these are all wall-mounted floating shelves. Some of my favorites, the Cad Bane in the middle, the Padme in the middle, the Incinerator Trooper in the middle, the Grievous. The Jar Jar Binks is good, Revan's good. Yeah, these are my Funko Pops. So looking behind the bar downwards, it's a perfect backdrop for a Star Wars bar. I'll just pan out a little. So I pretty much buy the ones these I really like. Oh, that top row, middle, the glow-in-the-dark Ahsoka is really sweet too. So that's my Funko area. And then moving along here, we got a wall clock. It's actually made on a vinyl record, which I thought was cool. And it's got the old school Star Wars logo with Vader on it. Matilda actually got me these. These are the special edition droid stamps. So a bunch of postage stamps I thought were cool. And then under them, I got the, I think the prototype figures. And then space for one more down there. Again, it's our bathroom in there. Not fully Star Wars themed, but I do have a probe droid there. And then back there, it's just our utility closet. But then I have the retro collection, A New Hope figures, the Star Wars figures, then a cool Rise of Skywalker poster I thought was sweet. Mounted on there. And then similar style on the other one, this other door, this is our washer and dryer is actually in here. But same idea. Got a Clone Wars movie poster there, framed. Or show poster, rather. And then, actually have the carbonized collection there for the 3 3/4 Mandalorian ones. So I just think that all came out pretty good. And just using door spaces. Again, command strips. And then our card table, we use this for playing games. I actually have a bench back here, which I have some stuff stored under it. So these Tupperwares have like my 3 3/4 figures that are not being used. So if I didn't wedge something into a diorama, they're down there. A couple stuffed animals, some other stuff under there. But anyway, we could actually fit 6 people at this table. Our bench seats 3. And we got 3 chairs. We'll play board games down here, eat. Centerpiece, it's actually the Lego Falcon from Solo, Lando's Falcon, which I thought was sweet. And then here's the other 2 Battle of Hoth coasters. Yeah, it's a perfect table for the size of the room. Perfect for the aesthetic of things. And again, this is a chill spot. If anybody ever is in our nation's capital, hit us up. My wife and I will talk Star Wars, look at some toys, have a few drinks, and play some games. We're fun people. And then over here, I have my Power of the Force 2 boxed ones. I kept the red cards in the box. This was kind of my childhood line. I mean, I was already into Star Wars and bought Star Wars toys before this, like the original Kenner ones. The first Star Wars toy I actually ever got was the 12-inch or the jumbo size C-3PO, and it had a foot that was broke off it. So I had a broken foot C-3PO. That was the first toy I ever got, and I played with it so much. But anyway, these were the first like new things to come out when I was a kid. So bought these up, collected them. So basically the red cards were a little more exclusive than the standard green ones, just because there were a lot less of them and they were the first run. So the majority have that green card. But the red ones were kind of cooler, and then the long saber ones. So at first the lightsabers were super long for no reason, which all these are. And then they shortened them. So anyway, the long saber ones are a little harder to get. So the Luke and the Vader, both long sabers. The Han and Chewie. C-3PO, R2-D2. Ben Kenobi and Leia, also the long saber. Boba Fett, Stormtrooper, Lando, Han and Carbonite. I don't have all of them. I think there's maybe 3, maybe 4 more of the red cards I don't have. Jedi Luke. And that was the time where they didn't do long sabers anymore. So if you could tell, it's like half his body instead of his whole height. 6 feet of saber. And then TIE Fighter pilot, Greedo, and Han in Hoth gear. So this is just storage under the stairs. And that was my grail as a kid, the Theater Luke. When they re-released the original trilogy special editions, that was the giveaway the first night. And it was so cool. I was one of the few very minimal people that had that. They maybe gave them to like the first 100 in the theaters or something like that. So I got one of those, still in the box, and we got a little Grogu hanging out on the doorknob, and that's just storage. And then got my Padme picture. That is a print from Etsy. Somebody in Germany I bought it from, but just absolutely gorgeous. And her iconic white crop top outfit. There's scratches on the back. We need more Padme figures. Love Natalie Portman. Love Padme. And then we got Vader. I feel like I had to have the Padme with this Vader. So this was the celebration that did not be because of COVID, but this was the 2020 celebration poster, one of the art prints, which they still gave them out. So I had that framed, and I was like, I got to get a Padme picture to go with Vader. So after a lot of deliberating, I ended up going with that. And then I have a Luke figure in the box. I feel like a Leia figure in the box would go well under the proud mom and dad. Then over here, I got my hot toys. I currently only have 2. I will get 1, maybe 2 more over time, but I want to keep it the female theme. Very big pro-femme guy, but 2 of my favorite characters ever, Rey and Ahsoka. Both these figures are just amazing. Look at these things. Absolutely incredible. And look at these. Look at his face. They're just great. So those are my hot toys. Wanted them in a special spot because they're so sweet looking. And then basically they're over the TV stand. So this is actually the last part of this. So if you're still watching this video, major props. So I got a small TV. I didn't want a big TV because it's not the focus. I mean, it's good having a TV in here, but the collection is the focus. So it's a perfect size. It's like a 20-inch or a 24-inch. I don't know exactly, but fits perfectly and it works great. And then we got my Legos and my game consoles down here. So that poster is actually a May the 4th giveaway one year. And just kind of scan through some of these Legos. This isn't going to work. Why didn't you say so before? I did say so before. Good times. A couple speeders, got Krennic shuttle. Y-Wing, that has not gotten knocked off yet by anybody. I don't know how. It's basically on 2 DVD binders for people that want to know what those are. But yeah, so those Legos are here. And then down here, just a few more sets in this. So sweet. Lego's awesome. I love it. And I love building them. I think it's fun. It's kind of therapeutic. They're a pain to move. I mean, you pretty much have to move them all delicately. some random parts break off and you don't know where it's at easily, how are you going to find that in the manual? So it did a pretty good job, Angela and I did, with very minimal damage. So I can probably say they're all in complete tact, which is great. So yeah, those are my Legos, and then I got my books. So the books are on the bottom shelf, and then we'll talk about the game consoles, and that's about it. So yeah, that's the TV stand area. And got more LED lights behind it. So for our gaming down here, for modern stuff, we got an Xbox One and we got a Nintendo Switch. There's a 360, but it's not actually hooked up. But got our Xboxes and a Switch over there. On this other side, we actually have an N64 and a Sega Genesis. Everything works, everything's hooked up. We were playing Mario Tennis most recently. Vintage games are brutal. Like, they were so hard back in the day. And a lot of them you can't save, or it was crazy. It's just some tough stuff. And then those little drawer things under there, they're basically just with game cartridges. So and then a lot of video games are in there, controllers, stuff like that. Same with that little cabinet or the little small tower of drawers. And a lot of my other like display stuff. So some of the figure stands, stuff like that, LED strip lights, if there's anything random. And then we are back to the stairs. We are back at the beginning. I can't believe I actually got this video done. This is on my bucket list forever. But we are good to go. And as always, I'm going to always be adding stuff, always messing with stuff. But for now, this is Van Cleve's Cantina. This is what we're looking like. Cool place to hang out. You can walk around like a museum. It's tough to do it justice without actually being in here. I mean, there's so many individual pieces. And it just keeps coming along. I thank you all for watching this video. I'm really, really proud the way this came out. And it's all been good. I love doing it. I love staying busy. I like messing with stuff. I like doing busy work and little things like this at home just because I own a business and sometimes I get a little stressed if I'm just sitting here and I let my mind wander. So what do? I go back to a simple time and play with toys like so many of us do. That's what brings us back to this hobby. It takes us back to a time in life where things were simple. And we all deserve a simpler, easier life. I'm all about hard work, don't get me wrong, but there seems to be a disconnect thinking that if we make people's lives easier, they're not going to work hard. And as far as I see it, I mean, that would motivate me to work harder. I get a small break, I come back with a vengeance. So I like getting away from reality for a second, playing with toys. And then I go back and I work my butt off with people I care about, and it's great. We're leaving our stamp on Earth. That's why we're here. Make it a better place while you're around. And do make sure you stop into Van Cleve's Cantina for a Mustavar margarita, or maybe some spiced Rhodean rum, or some aged Wookiee whiskey. Thank you all for watching it. We kept it under an hour. May the Force be with you.